So, continuing the trend with the reviews for the Resident Evil movies, I am reviewing Resident Evil Afterlife. I will watch Retribution tonight, and hopefully, probably, most definitely, gonna watch the final chapter. And just to clarify, so far, this is the best Resident Evil movie out of all of them. I just really love the action scenes and the characters in this movie, especially the set pieces. So, with that being said, I guess I should get to the review. Starting off with the pros. I think that this movie has some really good character development compared to the other ones. I think that Claire is at her best in this movie compared to Extinction, and that the pedestrians they meet up with, besides that film producer one, are actually entertaining to see Alice meet and to watch fight. Another pro I have with this movie is the opening. I think that this is easily the best opening out of the whole series so far. We got Alice's clones in Tokyo, fighting off these Umbrella agents in Japan, and I love the fight scenes, and Alice is really cool, and the idea of the clones. So that is another pro I have with this movie. Another pro I have is that Alice herself is just like at her prime compared to the first three movies in this. I think that she looks the coolest in Apocalypse, but she is definitely probably the coolest so far in this movie. Claire is also really cool, and I think that Chris and Claire's brother and sistership is really cool. I also think that Wesker in this movie, like in my last review, I said that he was not that good in the last in Extinction. In this movie, Wesker is like he's like a whole different character compared to the first one. The first movie, he's like this one that barely talks in the movie and doesn't show anything. In this movie, he's like the main villain, I would say. So yeah, that's Wesker. And another pro I have with this movie is the 3D. Now, I didn't actually watch this movie in 3D fully, but I did see a few scenes, and I think that those scenes there, the ones highlighted for the 3D, are like Ultimanium, like shooting the bullet coins actually out of the gun against that one with a huge hammer thing. Oh my god, it looks so good in 3D. And I do think that Claire Redfield, whenever Claire and Alice are like trying to hide from the tyrant, I guess, and she shoots the coins out, that scene in and of itself not even has to be 3D. It's so good. It looked like it would be cheesy, but in all honesty, it's just a really good scene. Another pro I have, lots of pros, is that whenever you like see all the set pieces, you're like, wow, that is actually amazing. Or at least I was, because I think the set pieces are like one of the top set pieces of this whole series so far. The set pieces are phenomenal. Arcadia is a good set piece. The bottom of it against Wesker, oh, that's a great fight and a great set piece. And like the whole area they're in for most of the movie, this big like prison, is just really fits the movie and makes it feel way more comfortable when you're watching it. Not to say that the zombies aren't in here. They mostly aren't. And I think that, the set pieces are really good. Another pro I have with this movie are the one-liners. I think that the one-liners are really good. Like the one-liner where Alice is about to run off the roof and she's running towards the black guy. That sounded really racist. But I don't remember his name for real. All I remember is Alice, Claire, and Chris. And, where she runs towards him and she's saying that one. I forgot what the one-liner was, but I know that I was really pumped up when watching it, and that the one-liner department is really high with this movie. and I really like it. That brings me to the negatives. The first negative I have to say about this movie is that the zombies, just like most of the other movies, are literally shown for like 15 minutes. And when they are shown, which is actually more than that, when they are shown, they aren't really trying to make it be scary. Now, I have to say that this is probably the scariest the series has ever been, which is still really low because all the other ones are not that scary, but that doesn't make them bad. And I think that the scariness factor is really low on this movie. While it still has great tension, that helps with it, but it's still a low scary. Another negative I have to say about this movie is that I think that Chris Redfield is utilized in a completely different way than he should have been. He is definitely not like he should be in the video games. Chris Redfield is more of like this big, strong, tough guy that has this weird, tense sense of humor. This movie, he's kind of like, what's his name from Supernatural? The brother, I think, is Dean or something. Yeah, I think it's Dean. He is more like him than actual Chris. If you played Resident Evil 5, you know how Chris acts, and he does not act like this at all. And I think they're basing him off of Resident Evil 5, because in the other ones, he's not like this big, tough Marine guy. So that would be my last negative. And overall, I would say I give this movie my rating as the highest with an 89% rating. It's really, really fun to watch. The villains are good. The fighting is great. The set pieces are great. The characters are actually likable, kind of. Depends on which ones you're talking about. And yeah, that's the Resident Evil Afterlife review. To anybody watching, hope you enjoy.